And good evening to everyone joining us from across the world for the Pitch Points review of the Liverpool versus Man City game this evening. I have with me a very good friend, a smart guy, intelligent guy, a City fan through and through. He bleeds blue. If you cut him in half, you see blue blood flying through. But he's a really great guy. We have many interests, from football to technology to space to all kinds of stuff. And he's a really, really great guy, very analytical. Yinka George, Ade George, welcome.
Thank you for having me again. Glad to be here.
It's always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure, man. How are you doing? How are you doing within this whole COVID and all this stuff that's going on? How are you been?
I'm surviving. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that has to physically go into work at least 3 times a week. So just trying to keep safe and hope everybody's keeping safe.
Thanks for all the stuff that you guys do, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We have Charlie Everett. He's from the UK. He said he's staying up. He's in England. It's 1 a.m. He's staying up and looking forward to the preview, mate. Hi, Charlie. So Charlie's someone I talk to all the time on Twitter. He's in the UK. He's a Man City fan. Charlie,
awesome.
Nice to see you here. Thanks for staying up.
Nice to see you on here, Charlie.
Good evening, Charlie. Great. So if you're listening, if you're watching, join us online. I mean, we're going to also have this on a regular pod, audio-only pod. So for those who are listening, thank you for joining us. The two of us are City fans. We just love the club. We're one of the new City fans. We've been supporting the club for a while. We have no shame in the fact that we love the club. I mean, for me, I know that the reason why I love the club is I like disruption. And so when Sheikh Mansour took over the club, I was like, wow, this is something new. Let's see what happens. And I have no shame in supporting the club. I never paid attention to English Premier League before until we saw the investment and the ambition shown by the owners of the club. And today we've seen the fruits of that. What about you, Yinka, generally?
The same way. I mean, I've known about soccer a long time. I used to follow some of the leagues when I was back in Lagos. And when I got to the U.S., I really wasn't a big soccer fan. I used to hear about it here and there. And then my father-in-law, he's a big, huge Arsenal fan, and he used to always talk about Arsenal. And I was looking around at the time like, okay, which team should I pay attention to or follow? And no one's really talking about. And at the time, like you said, the Sheikh was talking about buying City. And I was like, you know what? With this new investment, this is the team I'll follow. And since then, never looked back.
Absolutely. And it's been fun. I mean, what we're living through now, I mean, it's to watch the kind of football that's played under Guardiola, it's just mind-blowing to think about watching this kind of football in England. It's just fantastic. I mean, so far this season, in your opinion, what's been our best performance this season so far in terms of a game?
Best performance. I don't know. I don't remember the specific game, but there have been so many that I think it's a low-scoring game. For me, the games I enjoy the most now are the games we kind of have to grind out. It was a 1-0 game we played recently where we got a lot of flack for, and I think people were saying, "Oh, they didn't score enough. They didn't do this," but it was the grind after we scored the 1-0. I think it might have been United. Was it United?
United was 2-0 away.
It was 2-0. Okay, no, it wasn't that. It was a 1-0 game. I have to go back and look for it. But it was a 1-0 game, and we grinded that game out, and to me it showed. And the reason I loved it was because it showed that Guardiola is willing to adjust his game in the EPL. When he came into the EPL, he was all about my tiki-taka football. Attack is the good defense, and I'm just going to keep doing that. And when I watched him in this game, it shows that he's willing to adjust little slight changes because, like we know, our best signing so far this season is Diaz, and I know we're going to talk about that.
Absolutely.
And the way they played together, that partnership, and they grinded out that 1-0 game, I was so impressed. And I think it was, I can't remember, I got to go back and look at it, but it was a 1-0 game, and it was really impressive for me.
I think it was Southampton?
Yes, that's it. That was it. It was a Southampton game. Yes, that's it. It was a Southampton game. That was one of my best performances this season. Yeah, that's it.
And then they were flying. I think that performance was good. The performance I like was the West Brom away. It's just the total football, man. Just the passing and the movement, the false nine. The
Yeah.
game was so quick, so fluid. But like you said, we're used to that, right? Over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
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 I think to your point, I think you and I have always talked about the Pep's got to get this defense right, man. He's got to coach them out of the
We've
defense.
been saying it for a long time.
Yeah. We got to get the. I know we've talked about it, in great detail. And look, if he doesn't want to do defense, get someone to help him out with the defense.
Yeah, we've all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
But you have a good point, because what I'm learning, what I heard is that Lilo, the guy who's actually with him, is more of a defensive coach, and I think he's actually helped Pep. Yeah, he's more of a defensive coach. So apparently, what I've read and heard is that he actually helped him with the defensive side of the game to help to kind of control our weaknesses the last time. So Ruben Diaz.
You know what I would love to find out? I would love to find out who went and scouted Ruben Diaz. Like, what did they see in Ruben Diaz? And I know the stories will come out once the season's over. Like, what did they see in him that they knew that he would be the perfect fit? Because to be 23 years old and to be a leader in the back of a team with such huge pressures on your shoulder, it's really remarkable. So when that story comes out, I want to know what the scouts were thinking when they went to see him. Like, what was the story?
There's a New City Plus documentary about scouting. I think it's a 4-part series. They just released it now on City Plus. Check it out maybe tomorrow, where they talk about the way in which the City Scouts actually scout players. So maybe if I dig into that this weekend, maybe we will see something about how they got Ruben Diaz. But you're right, and the kid is 23 years old. He's younger than John Stones.
See Charlie, you see Charlie's comment?
Yeah, Charlie says
Charlie, that. You're absolutely right.
Charlie says that again. It's really interesting to listen to your stories as City fans, and you're right, Charlie. It's interesting because we're not one of the older City fans who've been there forever, right? We don't claim to be. We don't live in Manchester, but we like. I mean, I know I like disruption. I like things are new, that are fresh, that are not the old traditional way. And when I see disruptive influence, and we talk about technology, Tesla, SpaceX, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People like us, we like that. Now the question now becomes: if City start doing badly, are we going to leave? No, we won't. Because we're already embedded. We're already there. Yep. So
plus, we have friends that won't let us leave. So
yeah, exactly.
There's that too.
Yeah. So we're just in there for life, and we just love the way we play, and hopefully we can keep succeeding. And to the old City fans who are in Manchester, this is kind of what the Sheikh wants, right? He wants that global appeal to take the club across the whole world and bring in fans like ourselves across the whole world. So but back to your point, I think the Southampton game was probably the point. I think Charlie says here that Pep even said that the Southampton game was a turning point for the season.
Wow, that's amazing, because I didn't know that. Know that. But for me, that game, I know why he says that though. I didn't know he said it, but I know why. Because if you go back and watch the game again, that 1-0, it wasn't about the 1-0. It was the complete way that it was. Then I knew that, okay, I can be comfortable if we have 1-0. I wasn't afraid like other seasons where we would score one and I'm like, oh, we need 2 more goals to secure this win. I saw that game and I knew, oh, wow, we can have 1-0 and we can win a game now. It's really refreshing to know, but I'll let you carry on. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question. Do you find yourself at time when you watch the game where we've gone up a goal and your eye switches to the defense because you're like, let's see how they're going to defend this person?
Almost always. This season, that is almost always. As soon as we go up 1-0, because those old feelings don't go away. If you look at I've done the research. If you look back at the last 10 years, City has led the EPL in scoring almost all of those years, minus maybe 1 or 2. We've always scored goals. That hasn't been a problem for any manager with City. Goal scoring, absolutely, but to defend and goals conceded, we haven't controlled that well, especially after Vincent Kompany left. So for me, after we score a goal, I turn to the defense. And then when you turn to the defense and when you look at Diaz and you look at him communicating with Stones, you look at them pointing to the fullback and saying, hey, come back a little bit, be an outlet for the distribution before you proceed. It's like they're talking to each other. It's really refreshing.
One of the moments I saw in the game, I think it was Diaz that made one funny clearance where it was basically going to be a goal. And he kicked the ball. I was just like, wow, how do you do that, man? He won the I think it's the Nations League, the inaugural one where they played it in, I think it was Portugal against the Netherlands. He actually won the man of the match for that game.
Really?
Yeah, the final. He won the man of the match. So you begin
Oh,
to,
wow.
yeah. Van Dijk was playing for Netherlands. Wijnaldum was playing there. Bernardo Silva played. Even Cristiano played in that game for Portugal. But Diaz won the man of the match.
Wow. I got to go back and check that out.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean
know that.
to think about who we traded for Diaz to Benfica. I mean
Mm.
Otamendi going one way and Diaz coming. It's like daylight robbery, right?
It's a incredible. I mean, we paid about 60 something million, but I think that's one of the skills. Talking about when you talk about the money we were willing to pay for Koulibaly, and in retrospect, if you look at the
Yeah,
deal we had for Diaz, it's one of the steals of the last, I don't know, 4 years for me. It's a steal because he's basically our Virgil van Dijk.
yeah,
He's what he's how transformative Virgil van Dijk was to um oh no, we're never gonna forget Otamendi. Otamendi, he played a part with City. We'll
he did.
never forget what he did for City, but
He did.
I think his time had come that he needed to, step away and somebody knew what was coming in.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, as far as Diaz goes, I think the way he's transformed this team is exactly almost equivalent to the way Virgil van Dijk transformed Liverpool.
What's it? Like 11 clean sheets, or
Out of 13 games, 11
that's just
clean out of 13 games. The last
that's
last 13 games.
that's just incredible. So do you think he's been the best player so far this season for
Oh,
us?
without a doubt, without a
Mm,
doubt. I mean,
mm,
there's no way to quantify what he's doing right now. These clean sheets, the the attention to detail, the leadership. I mean, we know when Kevin De Bruyne is healthy, he's usually the leader of the team.
yeah,
But I think there's a partnership now where we have a leader in defense and we have a leader in attack. We
yeah,
lost that when Vincent Company left, and I think we
yes.
have that back now. And Stones is more vocal, so I think that partnership, both of them leading together, it's. I mean, he's a standout player. He
Well,
he should, in my opinion,
yeah.
win the PFA.
Well, it's kind
That's
of
my
like
opinion.
Liverpool last year. They had Van Dijk as the leader of the back, and they had Henderson as leader of the midfield, right? So you almost had two captains or leaders in the game. One was
Correct.
commanding the midfield and the forwards, one was managing the defense. In this case, De Bruyne is almost like the leader within the midfield and the offense, and
Yes.
then and Ruben at the back. But Stones, what happens to John Stones? Who cloned him and
That's
brought him back from the dead?
that's a new guy. That's Stones to me is a new guy, and I think Stone's story is funny, and a lot of it is injury based. And I think he was starting to get his groove when Company was there, and then Company left. It messed him up. Added to the fact that he got that injury, which kept him out for a long time.
Yeah.
So that vacuum of leadership was gone, and then he's coming back from injury, and he's supposed to be the lead. So it was him trying to lead Otamendi or whoever they partnered him with, and it wasn't working for him, and he just didn't have it. And in Diaz, he was able to be himself again.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't have to. The pressures of being a leader didn't have to fall on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Diaz was willing to take that on his shoulder because
Mm-hmm.
he was a leader for Portugal. I mean, he is the leader for
Mm-hmm.
Portugal, so it was natural for him. So with that, I think it gave Stones that confidence that I could just be myself, and he's just playing football. He's just being himself.
Yeah, we'll talk.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree with that. I think Diaz has been the best player for us so far this season. Another player, Ilkay Gundogan was fantastic, but another player that I think we haven't paid attention to that's changing the way Man City play is Joao Cancelo.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So one of the things I've noticed in the past couple of games, and we lead on to the whole game this weekend, is our system seems to have changed. I told Ty is a friend of ours who's a Chelsea fan about this, and you can tell like Ty, now that they have a new manager who's going to a back three, they play a 3-4-3. It's really a back five, really, and the wing backs go back and forth.
Yeah.
But Pep seems to have changed from a 4-3-3 to a 3-1-3-3. If you notice in the Cheltenham game, even in the game against West Brom, we had Laporte, Stones, and Diaz playing almost like a three.
Yeah.
And then Cancelo was playing this midfield kind of number 8 role.
Yes.
I mean, how good has this kid been since he found this new role that he plays?
I was thinking about that before I actually logged into the show today. Cancelo is and you know what's funny? It's Diaz that has let Cancelo be himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain what I'm saying. I'll explain it to you this way. Cancelo, when he first arrived, he wanted to play how he's playing now. He couldn't because we had defensive issues. And so his primary job is a defender. We know that he's a
Mm-hmm.
fullback, and so he was always talked about and said, "Hey, what's going on with the back? Our fullbacks aren't working because Cancelo wanted to play that role in the midfield,
Mm-hmm.
which he's doing now. And when you're having so many defensive issues, it's hard to play that way and not get criticized.
Yeah.
So Pep had
Yeah.
to keep switching him out, and he favored Walker, and he didn't really use Cancelo on the left end. It was Mendy or Zinchenko, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why Cancelo was out. But now with the confidence we have in the back, he's free to be in that role, just sitting right above the defenders and able
Yeah.
to push up sometimes. And
Yeah.
that's why he's whipping them crosses. He's taking shots on goal. He's very different from the way Walker plays. Walker is a traditional fullback where
Mm-hmm.
he's a defender. He'll push up, cross, but he's coming back to defend. Cancelo is, moving around in that middle. And so sometimes I agree with you that it's a 3-1-3,
3. Yeah.
3-1-3-1.
3. 3-1-3-3. Right.
3-1-3-3. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree that is that, but I think sometimes when they're defending, it changes because he comes back and he has to be part of that, four where he's
Yeah.
on the wings with the other fullback, and so it changes based on the progression of the game.
I think you're right. I think the game that I just saw the whole thing come alive was that West Brom game. I mean, just the movement, man. It's like what when I think about Pep's FC Barcelona in 2012, 2013, the way they used to move on and off the ball it was just. I mean, West Brom had no clue what to do. The
No.
similar game I remember was the game we played against Everton. I think it was the 17-18 season when it was 3-1 away. When Kevin De Bruyne said that Everton players didn't have a clue what to do or where to move. I mean, like a Chelsea game, Chelsea game away, they had no clue what to do.
None at all. I think we totally outplayed them, and
Yeah,
it's not something Chelsea fans want to hear right now. But our football is different this year, and the confidence, everything stems from a good defense.
I agree.
The
I agree.
good defense allows you a little bit of freedom to be creative. It takes a little bit of a pressure off you. If you're always concerned about defending, you can't really play your game.
Yeah,
And that's what happened after Company left. We weren't confident enough to go out there and just play football the way we were used to playing. So I really, and that's why I'll keep going back to it. Diaz is the player that changed everything for us,
I
and
agree.
we're just so lucky to have him.
I mean, how grateful are we to the scouting department and the chief executive and Pep and the team for it's almost as if I did that the whole Koulibaly discussion was almost like a false alarm. They kind of
It really was.
Put that in the media to kind of stir us all up, right?
It almost seems like it now, right? It really does. It really does.
And quietly go about their way. But anyway, we don't have too much time left. But big game this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we're 3 points ahead of Man United with a game in hand, 7 points ahead of Liverpool with a game in hand.
Yeah.
This weekend is going to be huge, right?
It is. It is. I think for us, if you want me to go first, I can go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the way I see it, I think this game, there's not a lot of pressure on us. I know the media is trying to make it seem like, oh my God, City really needs to win this. No, they like drama. They want to put things in our players' heads.
Right.
It's not going to work. The pressure is not on us. We can go out there and just be relaxed and play our game. We don't need to take anything to them. They have to bring the game to us because they have to they need a result, and they don't need a draw. They need a win to be in the conversation again. So we just have to be smart in this game. I feel like our fullbacks, there's going to be a little bit of pressure on them because of Salah and Mane, because Mane is definitely playing this game, and they're going to do their whole long ball behind our defenders, running. Just be smart. I know Cancelo likes to roam. I think Pep for this game, he really needs to talk to his fullbacks and say, look, yes, we usually have a little bit of freedom, but this time I really want you guys to really pay attention to the defensive side of things because Mane is going to run behind you, Salah's going to run behind you. In the middle, we're pretty okay. But I feel like those wings, that's where the problem comes. And I think we play a relaxed game. A draw favors us. A win is absolutely amazing. A loss is not as bad, but it doesn't say anything for the season for me.
So to Charlie's point, but we draw, then United are 11 points, but we still have a game in hand. Yeah. So even if we draw, assuming that United win against Everton, you have to assume that they win tomorrow, then if we lose, then we're level on points, but we still have the game in hand. But we're still top. But I think you're right. I think the pressure is on them to win the game.
Yeah.
Now, if they bomb forward and try to win the game, I think Edison has a massive role to play in that game tomorrow. I think his long passes from the goalkeeper to the strikers will put the fear of God in the fullbacks because they can't push forward.
Yeah,
Because if
and
they
plus,
push,
remember, they have center backs now that are not confident. They're
right,
gonna pair Fabinho with the other kid Williams, or I forget what the other kid that is the fullback for them. So they're not as confident in the back as we are.
yeah, Charlie, we got to predictions in a minute. So, but yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's more important for them than it is for us to win this game.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I'll take a win every day of the week.
Oh, every day.
You know, but it's more important for them to win than it is for us. No matter what the media said like you said. So let's talk about formation. Who you think is going to start, or who would you like to start versus who?
Would I like to start?
Yeah, let's start with your defense and
right.
why.
I'm going with Walker. I think he's gonna. I know Guardiola's gonna go Walker at right back just because you need something to counter the pace of Mane. You need it. So he's gonna go to Walker. Obviously, Stones and Laporte. Stones and Diaz in the middle. On the left back, I'm not sure. I think he goes to Cancelo, but he's also, and this is where I think communication with who's going to play is important. Because if you're going to go with Cancelo, you know what he wants to do, you know what he likes to do, and you know how dangerous Salah can be if it's left one-on-one. So you really, there's a talking you need to have with him if you're going to select Cancelo. Because I know Mendy, I don't think Mendy's going to play in this game. I think Mendy might come in as a substitute, maybe if Cancelo's tired or Zinchenko, but I think he goes to Cancelo with explicit details on what he wants him to do.
Yeah.
No Kevin De Bruyne. I think we go with the lineup we have now. Ilkay has been fantastic.
Brilliant.
Obviously Sterling, you can't teach that speed. And he's gonna go with his favorite Mahrez. I know you don't like it, but I know he's gonna go with Mahrez just because there are sometimes where Mahrez is brilliant. And that brilliance in a game like this will come in handy. So and obviously you have Jesus in the middle. Bernardo plays. Who else? I'm missing somebody. Foden. I don't know if he selects Foden. I would love him to select Foden, but I don't know if he selects him. But that will be my lineup. Oh, I forgot Rodri. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
DM.
So you'd have Rodri over Fernandinho for this game. This is the problem, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is the problem.
I like the experience of Fernandinho. I like the youth and speed of Rodri.
Yeah.
Physicality, I think they're even in physicality, but you know what? He might go with Fernandinho just for the experience, and then maybe bring in Rodri later, or go with Rodri and then bring in Fernandinho later. I don't know.
Do you think he goes with the two?
No.
Like the United game. Remember the United game away where we drew 0-0?
If he goes with the two, that means we either lose Foden or Ilkay, and that puts too much pressure. That puts too much pressure on the midfielder to be creative.
That's the problem.
For me.
That's the problem. You're right. That is the problem. I think that is the problem. Yeah. I mean, I drew something up. Let me see if I can share. We can talk through what I think is going to happen. Let's see. Hold on a sec. I'm still playing with this stream.
Yeah, I think you have to bring it to the front. Yeah,
there we go. There we go. So I again looking at the games that we've had recently, where he's played that 3-1-3-3 formation with Cancelo in possession. We're 3-1-3-3 out of possession. Cancelo falls to the right back. I think I would go with Diaz, Stones, and Walker, right? As that three, right? Walker because of the pace, he can cover in case Mane gets behind. Stones to build the play. Diaz to do what he does best, which is defend and communicate and manage the thing. I think he plays Rodri as a holding, as a 16 in the holding, right before in front of the 3. I think he plays Cancelo on the right as almost like an 8 and a 2, back and forth, like what he did in the game against West Brom and Cheltenham. I think Bernardo is also in the middle, and then Ilkay is going to be on the left. So it's going to be a 4 in the midfield of Rodri, Cancelo, Bernardo, and Ilkay. Bernardo almost has a free role to basically chase anybody around the field and close the ball down like he did against Liverpool in the game in 17-18. Remember that game at Anfield? Then the front three, I think he's going to go Sterling on the right. I know we had the discussion. I think he's going to play a false nine with Foden, and then Jesus on the left. Remember the Real Madrid game away and at home where we played Jesus on the left to help cover
Yeah.
for Salah. Yeah, Salah's good. Salah plays the right. I think that's what he's going to do, man. I just either which way, the front three are going to be rotating. Going to be very, very fluid. Really, really fluid. It has to be a very fluid team. We have to scare the pants out of them, frankly.
Yeah, I see a lineup. It looks interesting. I don't think he goes with that. And now that I'm thinking about it, he might not even go. I think I have a change of heart. He might not even go with Mahrez on the right. I think he goes with Ferran
Yeah,
on the right. He goes with Jesus in the middle, and he goes with Sterling on the left. And in the middle, I think your middle is spot on. Ilke, Bernardo Silva, and then Cancelo. And then yeah. Aside from the front three, I think everything else you have, I support it.
it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to watch, man. It's really going to be interesting because this is, Guardiola always changes stuff. He always sometimes overthinks, sometimes he thinks perfectly, right? Like the Real Madrid game.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really, and the good thing is that this is on them. They have to come out and play.
Yes, they have to come out and take the game to us. They have to bring the game to us, which will create a lot of spaces. And
Yeah.
they too will be wary because they now have the problem we had the year before where you're not sure of your center back, so you have to kind of, be careful.
It's an opportunity for Man City to go 10 points clear of Liverpool with a game in hand.
Oh man, that'd be sweet.
And you win your game in hand, that's 13 points. It sends a message to the rest of the league. It's a difficult game. We haven't won an Anfield for 17 or 18, or God knows how many years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time. The last time we almost got scored one was that 0-0 we played 2 years ago. But it's football. Anything can happen. Either which way, I know that we'll be fine towards the end of the season. But what do you think Edison's role is going to be? I mean, what role do you think he's going to play, Eddie, with those long shots? Look at the formation we have.
I mean, he's going to look for passes to our wingers, whether it be Ferran or Mahrez or Sterling. He's going to look for those balls when he sees their their center back cheating. But the problem is with the center backs Liverpool have now, they don't know to cheat like their experienced center back. So they're going to be a little bit more reserved where they're scared to come forward almost. I don't think they come forward as much as Van Dijk used to do with Gomez. Yeah. So that's the issue. But if they do cheat, I mean, I trust them to find the outlet passes to our wingers. Lands right on their foot, and they run at the goalkeeper or the defender. So
do you think Liverpool's going to play? Sit back and counter attack, look for the spaces behind?
Both teams are going to be cautious. Liverpool can't afford to lose 3 straight games at home. So they're going to be very, very cautious. We're going to take probably, funny enough, we will probably take more risks. Knowing Guardiola, we will take more risks than they do because we will possess the ball more and therefore we'll take more chances. But I think, I don't know, the game, it's going to be an interesting game. I can't really call it. I really can't. I want to call it. I see Man City winning. But then I can see 1 or 2 mistakes, just messing the game up for us. So it's really difficult to call.
It's a tough one to call. I want to ask you a question, Ade, about Foden. You and I talk about Raheem Sterling. One of our big frustrations is conversion rates is quite poor. Does Foden have a better conversion rate than Sterling?
He has to, especially Sterling's job has almost been very easy over the years, where the ball is basically given to him on a platter. De Bruyne, whether it was Sane giving him the ball to his feet, or it was De Bruyne, it was always easy for him, and the ball just comes and he just taps it in. When he goes, and I've told you talked about this, when he goes one-on-one with the goalkeeper, Sterling, he doesn't have a clue what to do. He freezes and he stumbles, and before you know it, the defender closes him down, or he kicks it to the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper saves it. He's not as creative as an Aguero, and I don't blame him for it. He's not a natural striker, but I think with the adjustment Foden has been able to make, where he's been called on to be creative in front of goal, and
Yeah.
he's excelled.
Yeah.
And I think that has made him a more better finisher this year than Sterling has been.
Like Pep says, Foden has a smell of goals. Once he's around that 18-yard box,
Yeah.
like that goal against Chelsea, it was actually a no-look goal because he actually kicked the ball into the net and then he looked. Before you look at it again, he actually got the ball
I'll
from
check it
Kevin.
out again.
He kicked the ball into the net, then he looked and he went into the goal. So the guy he has that smell of goals. His finishing is fantastic. And he's
Funny enough, yeah, he's young. He's 20, isn't it?
It's incredible.
Funny enough, I think Ferran, with a little bit more time, will be a better finisher than either one of them.
I agree.
With either one of them, because he it's in his blood. Like every time he's in front of the goal, you just expect him to score, but it's just not clicking for him yet. Once he clicks, my goodness, he's going to be another false nine that's just going to be amazing for us.
I watched his game for Spain against Germany when he clicked. That boy he scored 3 goals. It was fire.
He's amazing.
I mean, it's just, for what, 20 million pounds? 20 million pounds?
That was a steal. That was a steal. I tell you, I don't know how they let that boy go for that much, but hey, that's a steal.
So Charlie says it's the same officials when we met them last year and lost 3-1 with the VAR controversy. I agree. It's Michael Oliver. It's the same linesman, the same VAR. But whenever we talk about this, I know Michael Oliver at Anfield, they never lose a game. So hopefully history bucks the trend and this becomes a win for Man City. But we shall see. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, it really will.
Yeah. Charlie says next season will be Ferran's breakout season. I completely agree with you, Charlie. So let's talk about yeah. We have a minute left. Let's talk about predictions. What do you think the scoreline is going to be? What are your predictions?
I think 2-1 City. That's what I think.
I think they can't afford to lose it. We can afford to lose it. I think it's going to end up in a draw. I think it's going to be like a 1-1, but I'll take the 2-1 win. I'll be optimistic. I'll go 2-1. 2-1 City.
I see 2-1. I see them. The reason I see 2-1 is because if the game is tied, they're going to keep pushing. And when you push against a team like City, you're gonna make a mistake. I mean, De Bruyne is not. If De Bruyne was in the game, I would almost guarantee a win. But without De Bruyne in the game to be that creative guy that finds that pass, I think even with the guys we have now, because Ilkay has been just he's amazing. Godegan has been amazing. So I think with him in the game, I think we pull away just before the game's over. We win 2-1. It's possible, but I'll take a draw as well.
You raise a really important point here, and I want to scratch that point a little bit more and dig a little deeper. Last time we got a point at Anfield, De Bruyne was not there. Is there an argument to say that sometimes when De Bruyne doesn't play in our team, we seem to be everybody seems to step up their game a bit more? We seem
there
to be
is no argument.
More
there
control.
Is no argument. There is absolutely no argument in that. That is absolutely true what happens. But this is the thing. Again, I know it's like I'm beating a dead horse. It all goes back to the defense. When we have the defense we have now, when De Bruyne is not in the game, everybody can still play their game because they're not so much worried about what's going on in the back. You're concentrated on what you're doing going forward. So it gives everybody a little bit more freedom. Even though De Bruyne is not in the game, you see how everybody steps up. It's like, Bernardo Silva stepping up now. Ilkay has been supremely amazing. Cancelo's amazing. And you see everybody just playing their game because they're not so worried about what goes on the back. So I think that has a big influence. But yes, you are right. We play a little bit different when De Bruyne is not in the game. Everybody has to step up.
Absolutely. And hopefully Sergio's coming back soon, maybe for the Swansea game, maybe for the Tottenham game. De Bruyne should be back soon for the Gladbach game. It'd be good to get everybody fit and healthy and really, really push the foot to the pedal, the foot to the pedal to get over the line. We see Bully, a Chelsea fan, who says that we Chelsea fans are praying for Man City win. Looks like Bully, you're probably the only one who's praying for that.
Yeah, you're the only one. You're the only one.
But that's interesting because Liverpool lose, Chelsea's top 4 ambitions are even greater, right? I mean,
that is true. That is true. Okay, so I see why Bodu is rooting for City then. Okay, it's for selfish reasons, but it's okay. We'll take it.
Fantastic. Okay, well, let's wrap up. I mean, Charlie says I mentioned SpaceX before. He tracked it in the summer when he saw it over his house. That's great, Charlie.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're blessed to be able to watch all these launches live. It's just phenomenal what these guys are doing. It really is some smart stuff. But yeah, so Bully says yes, indeed. That's his angle. So I wonder how many Chelsea fans support City tomorrow. Not many.
Not
Bully's
the
probably the
ones
only
I
one.
know personally. The ones I know personally do not support City, but I'll take Bolu's support any day.
Okay, Ade, thank you so much. Any last words for City for tomorrow? Any things you want to offer up?
Yeah, if there are any guys maybe listening to this by any chance, I think you guys just need to go out there, play the game you've been playing. You've been amazing. There's no pressure on us. Don't block out the media and whatever they're saying. The pressure's all on Liverpool. And we're just gonna play a great game. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes, and thank you so much, everyone joining. Charlie, thank you for staying up in the UK all up to 1 a.m.
Wow.
I
Thanks,
can't wait.
Charlie.
Fantastic. And for everyone who's out there, I hope this has been short. It's been sweet. It's been Ade and I on Pitch Point talking about our beloved Blues. Stay safe and up City for tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.